Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome to an all-new Shadowhunters after show here at AfterBuzz TV. Tonight we're breaking down Season 2, Episode 8, titled Love is the Devil, and we have special guest Alberto Rosende Skyping in. So exciting, we have a lot to talk about, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin!
Hey everyone.
Hey.
Hello. Thank you again so much for tuning in to the AfterBuzz After Show for Shadowhunters. I'm your host, Sam Davidson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43. Unfortunately, Dakota couldn't be here tonight. You know where to find me, Dakota T. Jones. And I, of course, am joined by Becca Brown.
Hi, I'm Becca Brown. Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV.
And guys, Alberto Rosende is here Skyping in on our screens.
Woo!
Hi!
Oh, how's it going?
Hey!
Oh my
Great.
God, it's so good. How are you? Where are you? Are you in Toronto right now?
I'm currently at my apartment in Toronto. I'm with Stella. I don't know if you guys can see her.
Oh, that is
Cutie!
Yeah, I'm hanging out. It's been good.
Such a cutie.
wow. Alberto's killing me right now.
I
I'm a
love
big
cats.
I'm a big cat lover. Mine's name is Buffy.
That's a
Yes,
great name.
we're very close. So thank you so much for being on here again. You were on your last season, and we Skyped with you
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
This season has been so, I mean, is this an actor's dream for you to portray this awesome character that keeps on changing but is like the best part of a show?
Literally the best part.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been, it's absolutely been a dream because of the fact that we fell in love with the books. Like, when you have a character that you fall in love with the books, and then you get to go through all the things they went through, and you get to see this character grow, flourish, change in ways that are different than you expected. And then I kind of watch myself change because of the things that Simon's been able to go through. It has been a dream. I think that's a really good word to use for it.
You've had so many good one-liners, and
I was gonna say.
I've also come up with some. I came up with, Isaiah was in the studio like a month or so ago, and I said that Simon's gonna get his Vojo, his vampire mojo.
Oh, yeah!
Sure. Well, I like that.
Yeah. So
I forgot about that
I
one.
love, the one-liners. It's really so much fun. And this episode, we're thrilled to have you because you finally get,
Some Clary action going on.
your dreams came true.
Long time coming for Simon.
My dreams came true.
Are you a Kleiman fan? I forget.
I wanted it to happen.
I wanted it to happen too for Simon. I think it's so important for him to finally. It's a chance not many people get when they finally decide to like confess their love and put it all out there. For the other person to accept it so willingly and so fully right away was really good for him. So yeah, I am a fan of Climb.
And I like how real that scene was when he was like, I'm telling her I'm in love with you, or
It was adorable.
it was cute, it was awkward. I'm like, yep, that'd be
Yeah,
me
that's exactly
telling
how. I
someone.
mean, I don't know if you guys have ever done that, but like doing that is so scary, but
Yeah.
exciting. It's like an exciting scary.
Absolutely. And when you and Kat finally filmed that together, did you two just like laugh, being like, I can't believe this is actually happening. This is such a big deal, but this is ridiculous, crazy.
We were both like super excited to film it because we knew it was such a big moment in each of our characters' journeys. Like from then on, that was a relationship that they'd had forever. Now it went to a new place, and for each of those characters, it meant something different, and it was a huge growth that Kat and I were both really excited to explore. And then doing the scene, working with Kat's always really fun. We always get to play. We get to try new things. Like I tried, like we started the scene in a different place every single time we did it.
Yeah.
And it's really fun when you have an actor that you trust like that you're really close to. We can really like talk, change things in the middle of the scene, and be like, hey, I don't like the way this is feeling right now. Can we change it to this? And I'm gonna try something new. And Kat's always like really excited about it, really down to be like, yeah, absolutely, let's change it. Let's find out where this really sits, like where it feels like these two characters are actually doing this.
Yeah. And so when it actually happened, though, did you giggle at all? I felt like you guys would have giggled in real life because I've only met you
Videos and
via
stuff,
video
yeah.
Skype, but I've met Kat a bunch of times, and I'm just like, this is such an epic moment, and I loved it. I'm happy about it.
No, there was definitely some giggling. I will admit to some giggling. a lot of laughing, and it was just a lot of fun. But there was that moment when we finished, we're like, whoa, that was like super cool but weird, because it wasn't weird for these two characters. So
Well,
like she says at the end of the scene, she kisses, Clary kisses Simon and then says, whoa, Simon's like, was that? And she goes, weird? Absolutely,
Yeah.
but in the best way possible. And that's exactly what the whole scene kind of was.
I loved it.
Loved that line. I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
But they go to the
weird.
party. They go to Max's party, which we will get into
Yes.
like the specifics of that later. But they go together and they are just like, woohoo, we're a couple. Like, no lies here. We're just gonna show
Show it
everybody.
But I mean,
Like, why not?
like one of the things Kat and I were talking about were how it was weird because it wasn't weird for them. I mean, for them to show up to a party together before that moment wouldn't have been strange.
Right.
For them
That's
to even
true.
like maybe hold hands wouldn't have been strange. Would have been a little intimate, but it wouldn't have been weird because they probably held hands a million times when they were little kids, and growing up, whenever Clary needed someone, Simon was there, and they were doing those like semi-intimate things like maybe cuddling or holding hands or being close to each other after times of like, after big things happened. So this was just a new step, and that's why Simon was nervous. That's why Simon was like, is it going to be, am I being, no, okay, we'll just do this. We'll just kind of be out there. But that party scene was crazy.
Funny question. Billie Jean Girl 24 on the chat wants to know how many times you all did the kiss.
Well, we actually shot that scene twice.
Okay.
We shot the scene first with the director for episode 8, but I think because of background things and because of other things we couldn't really get and didn't finish getting, we had to shoot it again a couple episodes later, which was weird to go back to that moment after having shot that and then a few other things after it. But it was really great to actually try to play again and go back. So we shot, at that point we shot it, 7 times, 8 times, and then we shot it again probably another like 6 or 7 times, maybe.
I don't know who's luckier, like
Yeah.
you or Kat. I mean, well, we get to this party and we see Maya, who, like it or not, you, Simon, have a bit of a connection with.
Yes.
Beyond just being a downworlder. It's not like you're going to go make out with Luke.
But it was cool. I love the relationship that they kind of had, and I thought it was like super awesome how like even in that episode we saw Simon thank Maya, being like, "Yo, thank you for being so cool." That's not something you see a lot, especially when dating someone. You don't tell them to go date someone else when they're on a date with you. That's not a very good date. But I think the relationship's really cool, and Simon finally kind of found someone that he could really talk to about the downworlder part of his life that Clary might not understand.
And then, of course, though, it's when Clary's into you that you find somebody, right? When it rains, it pours.
Absolutely. But I think Simon made the right decision. I mean, I think that's what people do when they finally get to their ultimate person. They you run with it when you finally get to date that person.
Even if it's not the right time.
Very true. I think
Yeah, there's only one way to find out.
I think Simon's that character that like everyone wants to be around just because he's so genuine.
Yeah.
And he's so happy and positive all the time. Then he like spreads positivity and light and joy.
Yes, he definitely is. I will second that. But I will go back to Maya saying when we saw Simon and Maya making out, which at the time we thought was really happening. I did. I didn't think it was that
I got
off
some
the
really
wall.
mean tweets about that moment.
They were like, "What are
Whoa.
you doing?" What did they say?
Well, I was saying the same thing they were. I was like, Simon, that's not cool. I mean, you just told this girl you loved her, now you're kissing this other girl, and like it's Clary. Like I'm on the same page with everyone, so it wasn't offensive to me. It was just like, yeah, totally agree. That's a really jerk thing to do. Absolutely, you should never do that. That's terrible. But they were very colorful in the language they used to tell me.
The good thing about that is that I feel like we saw Clary's like jealousy shine through at that moment, and we saw like, yeah, she does actually have true feelings for Simon.
Yeah, I mean, for me.
Yeah. Sorry, what are you saying?
Yeah, no, sorry. I was just like, for me, that moment, because everything else that happened that episode, it was like, I hate you. I want you to die. You're the worst. But this one, like, Simon went back up to Clary and said, oh, she kissed me. I was like, yeah, she probably did kiss him, Maya. Like, he's on, you set this up. You set this up so you could go steal him, Maya. I was getting all, like, crazy dramatic, but it was all fake.
That would have been intense.
I know, it would have been so
Again,
mean.
that would have been so not Simon to let that happen, you know?
Yeah.
And to me, that was where I was like, since we'd never seen the episode before, like, we don't get to see anything before it comes out, we're kind of like, okay. For me, I was like, this kind of makes sense. This is scary.
Yeah.
Especially with what Simon said after, where he was like, Clary, you should understand, she gets me in a way that you don't. And that's shocking for Clary to hear. Almost,
but it's true.
I guess that's just as violent for her.
Yeah, it's sad, but it's true. Like, that was one thing that was true of the evening. But, you know, long story short, everything ends up okay, and Clary and Simon are intact by the end of the episode.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, so it's...
Very lucky for Simon.
Climbing.
Very sad otherwise.
Yeah, gotta love that climbing. I had a hat. I have a hat. I should have worn it tonight, but
You should have.
literally,
You have a climbing hat?
yes, we got them made last year.
I need to get one of those.
We'll get you a climbing hat.
That would be awesome.
We
Get
will
one
get
sent to you.
if you come in the studio for 2B, we will give you a climbing hat. That is a
I
promise.
hope I can get out there at some point. That would
I
be
know.
awesome.
Well,
Yes.
you know, you did Skype last season, but you are the only guest that has been on this season and last season. So since you aren't here in person, you still get more brownie points.
All right, you know, I'll take it. I'll take that. I like
Yeah.
that.
Takes a lot to Skype. We have some questions from fans before you go that we want to ask you.
Awesome, please.
Okay, here is my favorite question. If you could play any other character on the show, what would it be? And that's Ashley K715.
Any other character on the show? Right now, in this season, with the current journey each character has, I would love to play either Jace or Izzy.
Well, I loved your Jace, you know, when Jace was you, and you know, this entire, like, you were
That was the hardest scene to shoot.
You were so good, Alberto. I'm not even kidding. It made me like, whoa, this guy. I kind of want to see that character more, like fake Jace.
No, that was incredible. I kind of forgot for a second that it was. I don't know how to explain it. That scene was like complicated in like a way like.
Yeah,
You know?
it was very cool. I will
When
say.
Dom and I saw it like on the page, we were super excited about it. I'm like, Dom, I'm gonna kill this scene. Like, we're gonna have so much fun. And Dom was like, I know, we're gonna make this really good. So I mean,
It was so good.
when we finally got to shoot it, it took so long because in the middle of a take, one of us would start cracking up. You know, it was super hard to take very seriously because Dom and I are very close. And then it got better and better, and Dom like one-upped me on one scene where he was like, "Oh, Jace would actually do this," and I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let's do it." It was so much fun, and seeing how it turned out, like I got to watch it in ADR actually, like a month ago or whenever I was doing ADR for that scene, and I loved it. I was like, "Oh, this is so great." I texted Dom like right away. I was like, "Dude, it turned out really, really great."
You're like, I literally slayed.
Yeah, well, I was like, we slayed because you know, in a scene, you're only as good as like your partner can help you get there. You know, you're listening. So Dom killed. I mean, we had so much fun together. I hope we get more scenes like that, and I hope we get to see characters like that in a way that we haven't seen them before. I feel like every time we do that, it's always interesting and fun.
Yeah, like a body hopping or like a shape shifting.
Yeah.
I love that, and it's such a fun thing for actors, I'm sure.
The alternate universe last season is still one of my favorites.
Yeah, I for some reason thought this episode was going to be an alternate universe situation. I think it's something because of Matt said, and it kind of was.
It had that feel. It had that feel because of like it was a party and all of us were dressed up just like the last time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a lot, and I love parties. I do love watching parties on the show, and I'm always glad when there's an event. Becca, did you have any questions?
I was gonna say that speaking of you slaying, Slay Frey on Twitter wants to know what Simon's worst flaw is.
Simon's worst flaw. Wow, that's a good question. Give me like a minute to think about that.
Okay, we'll do one more in between.
Ooh, that's perfect.
Okay. Let's see. Favorite scene to film from season 2 that we've seen so far?
Probably the scene with Dom.
What we were just talking about?
The scene we were just talking about. The scene with Kat was great for like the kiss scene was a lot of fun, and that was a really cool scene to shoot. We played a lot. That scene changed so much every time we did it. And then the scene with as an actor, the scene with Magnus, where Simon kind of asks for Magnus' help to take care of Camille.
Ooh.
That scene was really cool because Harry and I we did it like with the director. The director came in, we read the lines, then we kind of went through it, and it felt weird. It wasn't quite right because Simon's asking Magnus to really turn his back on someone he cares about. And Simon has to make Magnus comfortable enough for Magnus to reveal what he did. Remember, Magnus revealed the whole story about who was it? About Camille and how she saved his life and all that. And that's something he's never, I mean, I don't know if he's told anyone before, but it felt like he never had.
Yeah.
Or he hadn't talked about it in 100 years or so. So we were like, this moment has to be earned. Like, Simon has to earn the right for Magnus to tell him this. And Magnus needs to feel comfortable enough to tell Simon this. So Harry and I worked it out. Harry's awesome like that. He was like, well, this would be better. I think I need to do more of this. I need to do more of this. And I'm like, well, I'll change what I do here. And at the end, we went to the director. We're like, hey, we kind of went through it. Is it cooler if on this line I do this? And instead of this, I'm going to be more inviting here. And then he was like, oh, that's way better. Thank you guys for working that out. It was a little weird. And we were like, okay, cool.
Oh, that's
so that was like a really collaborative scene where we all went in on it. We got to break it down, find out what was really important, and then work through it, which is cool. So those are the top three, I guess.
All right, now on to your flaw.
My flaw.
Not your flaw, but Simon's flaw.
Simon's flaw.
I think one of Simon's flaws would be maybe failing to put himself first sometimes.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think he has, like, terrible flaws, you know?
No, I mean...
He cares about everyone.
But almost to the point where he forgets about, like,
himself.
Simon's safety sometimes, or Simon's personal well-being.
Yeah.
And that can be... I think that's a lesson everyone kind of needs to learn, when to put themselves first and when it's cool to let go. But
yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, you know, as a vampire, you'll be able to, like, see all of your human friends, like, live out and, like, put them first, and then after they're dead, you can be like, okay, now it's my time, because I'm going to live forever.
But that's different. Like, how do you focus? I guess that's what changed for him, is now trying to focus on a life of immortality where death is not really an obstacle anymore. Like, for regular people, like, they will die and their story will end, and that's why you try to grow so much, I guess.
Yeah.
When you have like time on your side, how does your life view change? Like, how do you live? I don't know. That's a good question. Something I guess Simon will start thinking about.
Yeah. Well, I have one more question before we're going to let you go. What can you tease for us for the rest of the season for Simon? Whoa. Can you tease anything? Like, you know, if he is going, like, is he going to become sexier? Is he going to be heartbroken? You know, is he going to become more violent?
Well, I mean, with Clary, we're going to see them go through, you know, the stages of, like, kind of having a relationship, which is cool. We'll see kind of how that plays out for them, two people that are already close as any boyfriend and girlfriend can be, but haven't done that as boyfriend and girlfriend yet. You know, they haven't been a boyfriend and girlfriend, but they've hung out, they've gone on, like, what people would call dates, and they've done everything. So now you're going to get to see some of that. You're going to see Simon kind of stand up for himself and really kind of not learn about his vampirism, but find out what strength he really possesses, I guess. I don't know if that's giving away too much or not giving away anything, really.
It's very vague.
I feel like that's what this season has.
I'm trying to be vague because I mean.
Oh, I know. We don't want you to get in trouble.
Oh. No, I feel like this season has kind of been about, like, Simon, like,
seeing him grow,
to recognize his strengths and that he is important in this world.
Exactly, and then you'll see him kind of discover, like, oh wait, kind of exactly what Magnus said to him in episode I think 2, where he was like, you need to man up, you're a vampire. So Simon starts to be like, I'm manning up, I'm doing it.
And he gets his Vojo.
Yeah, we'll get to see some of that Vojo.
Ooh. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for being with us tonight. For the fans, one more time, where can they find you on social media?
Social media, Instagram, my name is Alberto Rosende. On Twitter, it's A Rosende, Snapchat, AC Rosende, and on Facebook, Alberto Rosende. My Facebook isn't as popular, I guess, but I'm on Facebook. I'm not as good at Facebook, so I kind of...
you know,
Everyone go like
Instagram and Twitter are kind of my thing, and then Snapchat.
Yeah, you have a
Yes.
very fun Snapchat. I do love that. Well, thank you so much for being here. We're going to let you
Thank
go.
you.
Well, thank you
And
guys for having me. I love talking to you guys.
of course, we will hopefully see you soon.
Yes.
So I really hope I can get out there. That'd be a lot of fun.
Okay,
Crossing our
cool.
fingers.
Bye, Alberto.
Bye. Have a good
Everyone,
night.
bye.
Okay, so we are logging him off right now, and he sadly had to go. He, probably has fighting training tomorrow or something like that.
I can't imagine like how long they have to do that. Those fight training scenes
exhausting.
for, because we see all those posts on Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, that looks intense.
I know, I'm
think
like,
I would
I
pass
should,
out after like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I
of
should go to
that.
the gym. I look at that, and that's what I think.
Well, like, even if you like, even going to the gym, I don't think I could like do that.
No, he's very strong.
Like,
he is very
it's
strong.
extreme stuff.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm so sorry that we
He's
couldn't
so
have gotten more
cute.
guests on this season, but they're literally all over there.
Yeah.
And, Alberto
filming.
really is, like, amazing for doing this with us. And I'm sure we'll get a lot more on next season, or for 2B. Let's talk about Izzy and this entire, like, ridiculous situation. So this is where I think, and I should have said this to Alberto, Izzy and Simon are going to come together somehow, because it's also random.
Because Raphael, she's getting with like
Well, we were
twisted in this whole Raphael storyline.
Well, but also with vampires, like she needs help, and it's really like it's a vampire. I feel like that could save her.
Someone on the chat just mentioned Alder Tree, and I'm like, I completely forgot he existed.
Oh, I was so nice.
For a good reason. Like I was like, yeah, okay, the world's great again.
I know.
He doesn't exist.
It just makes me think that he definitely is working for Valentine.
Yeah.
Just like you gave her a drug to get addicted to, and you're like, oh, it's not good. Just use it
Okay,
sparingly.
bye.
It's literally probably telling someone that's a drug addict to like, oh, go use this sparingly. I mean, it's
Like
probably
be careful, but use it.
Oh man. I mean, maybe not a drug addict, but it's like Billie Jean Girl 24. I'm so flustered. Alberto is so hot. I mean,
He is
isn't he so cute? Even when he's like up against that white wall in Skypes, a lot of people stress out. They don't look good, but like he's chill. Just with his cat. Looks amazing.
Yeah, he's a cutie.
Oh my gosh, so cute. But
Sweetheart.
back to Izzy, and there was a whole thing with her and Raphael, right?
Yes. That was kind of getting a bit borderline steamy, and I was like, so do you, like, really want him to bite you, like, for the venom? Or do you just, like, have a crush on him? Because I kind of have a crush on him,
Mary,
too. So
the
I would
fangirl,
get
says,
it.
am I the only one who loves Izzy and Raph together? No, actually, you're not.
I think they're a hot couple.
Well, guys, last week when we saw the 50 Shades of Grey commercial, I was thinking, why is it the three of them? That's so random.
Because Izzy's gonna be in their storyline.
I just got the chills. I mean, it's because I think Raphael and Izzy are going to be something. I don't know. And I think at the end of the day, though, Raphael is like a selfish kind of person and will put someone else before her, and then Simon will save the day.
I think we saw a really another side of Raphael kind of tonight when he was telling Izzy his backstory before becoming
Yeah.
a vampire.
It was sad.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Raphael was I mean, since last season, I hated him last season, to be honest. I didn't like Raphael last season.
I started
but
to
now
like
I
him.
like him so much. Like, whenever he's not in a scene or an episode, I'm like, okay, I need my Raphael.
I know. I'm
time.
really loving it, and it's a lot of fun. So, we'll see what happens there. Let's kind of go back to this party. So it's Max's party because he is getting his ruins. Maris is back. Izzy
so
and
cute.
Alex, mother. And, like, she was kind of, she did some messed up stuff last season.
Yeah.
We're, like, not all biggest fans. But she comes, and Jace and her have a weird interaction because essentially she shunned him. And we see that later in the party scene, which we talked about, that everyone kind of sees their biggest nightmare of what that other person would say.
Everyone's just, like, under the spell of paranoia.
Exactly. But it's what you think, and you never know. And the reason this happens, though, is because Iris comes back. who wasn't in the books, which is interesting that she's playing such a big part.
Ugh.
I know.
I don't like her.
Well, she is a Valentine groupie, apparently. And, he has her cast the spell on this party. So everyone is, like, going insane. There's Jace and Maris, which was terrible.
To be fair, Clary's been going insane for, like, the past, like, who knows how many episodes.
What do you mean?
She just seems to go insane in some way in every episode. Like, she hears things.
Well, she's developing
like,
kind of powers.
Reason, but it makes her look insane.
Well, but everybody looked insane this episode, I guess.
Tis true.
I will say.
Claire was just the first one that looked insane to us.
Yes, and she was looking like that crazy, crazy girl. And then there is the Jace and Maris, and, like, that was really sad. And then Jace essentially, like, hurt her, and she wasn't doing anything, which is really sad. And then Alec and Clary, that was so devastating. Alec almost jumped off the building and killed himself.
That was pretty devastating. While all that was going on, though, did you suspect that was happening? Like, that they were, like, hearing things? Or, like, what did you think was happening?
I thought that it was, some kind of crazy... I thought it was the sangria, which I think still maybe it was in the sangria. I don't know, because they kept on mentioning the sangria.
That is true. That's a good point.
And Simon's, like, the only one. Simon is the only one. Remember, he didn't drink the sangria. He drank blood.
Someone earlier was like, did Simon go through the hallucination?
Yeah, no, I think it was everybody else but Simon.
Then maybe it was the sangria.
Yeah, it must have been.
Interesting.
I love sangria. It's
I was really confused by that.
Yeah, it was it was a bit of a reach, but that's okay.
No, but I liked it once, like, we figured out that everyone was just being paranoid and hearing what their worst fear would be said out loud. I was like, okay, it makes sense now.
Exactly. And then we have apology tour is what I called it.
Yes, I liked that. But I was gonna also say, the reason I was also confused is because I wasn't sure who was behind it at first, and then it all made sense.
Yeah, because
I was like,
is
it just gonna be like a filler episode?
No, it's still, like, all part of...
important.
But honestly, guys, I'm still a little bit, like, not sure what it is Valentine wants. Like, why? Like, I do know what he wants, but I don't understand why he did this with the party.
Like, why not just, like, knock on the door? Hey.
I mean, I know, the sword and all of that, but... Yeah, I mean, there's the sword and there's all these different things, but, we're just not sure how he's getting to where he's trying to go. I love this show, though, and I love that it keeps on, like, making us guess. And there's this new little girl, Matsy. Is that how I say her name? Matsy.
I don't know.
Matsy. Anyways,
I'm really bad with pronunciation stuff.
We were introduced to her a few episodes ago.
She's really cute.
Yeah, when Alec had that really cute moment with her. And then she's back now, and essentially her mother is going to be in Idris.
She's basically being,
in
like,
jail.
Blackmailed.
Yeah, she's in jail, and, Clary knew that she needed to go help her, so she's going to go help this girl, essentially.
Yeah.
But one more thing I wanted to make sure we touched upon tonight, which was kind of left over from last episode, is that Clary and Jace tell Luke at the beginning of this episode about the angel and how, they both saw this vision through him. And automatically, it's Clary that has this blood in her. But then, like, why didn't Luke say, like, oh, well, you must not be a demon then if, like, he held your hand too and you saw it? Do you get what I'm saying? I thought it was pretty obvious.
I'm trying to process this.
I don't know. Let us know what you guys think, because for me, I'm like, oh, it's pretty obvious they're both special, and I love, I did.
They're like,
I read some book spoilers. I read some book spoilers last week because you guys said that you sent them to me, the book spoilers, and I'm not mad about it. Okay, I'm actually very grateful.
Iris is her grandmother or her mom?
And the little girl calls her Nana. Really? I thought that it was like her adopted daughter.
Yeah, I thought it was the adopted daughter.
Maybe in the books that's what it was, but on the show it seems to be because it's she's her adopted daughter. So, and like we know, things are changing a lot.
Yeah.
From the book to the show.
Which, as I've mentioned before, I love because as someone who doesn't like to... As someone who's not reading the books because, like, I want to be surprised as the show goes on, it's even more surprising, like, when something's changed from the books.
Exactly. And Julia DeBernardo said, what did you guys think of Magnus in this episode? He had a really huge role. You're so right, and we didn't mention him enough. There was just so much else going on, and Alberto is here, but he is amazing. Like, he hosted the party. He figured everything out. He connected it all together.
I like... the cats. Did you love the cats?
Oh, I really did love the cats.
I was thinking of you. I was like, Sam is probably going crazy over these cats right now.
Yeah, it was fun. I love... Magnus is the only one that has real relationships with almost every single person. Yeah. Like, him and Izzy are now going to have some kind of connection.
Because he's willing to help everyone and be there for everyone, and he's proved himself worthy to everyone.
Yeah, he has.
In one way or another.
Yeah, apparently the chat is going off and saying that she said Nana, so sorry, it was maybe her grandmother. I'm not quite sure, but it was like her child.
That is true. I know that she screams Nana, but it's like her child in a way.
Yeah, and Alec Lightwood Creation says Magnus's magic was incredible this episode. The special effects were so good.
And that's like another thing that has me like thinking back to season 1, and I'm like, wow, the show has progressed so far.
Yeah.
Since we watched the first episode, because all these effects have taken a turn for like...
I know. I'm like, they gave Shadowhunters a lot of money this season. That's awesome.
Good job, Freeform.
On that note, let's get into some predictions for next week.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Becca, it's you and you.
It's me first?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at predictions. I'm confused as to what Valentine wants to do with Iris's granddaughter. How do you say her name? How did you say her name? Because I don't want to butcher it.
I said that her name was Matsy, but I don't know if you can really quote me on that, so... So you think that we're going to find out more about this very interesting child?
Yeah. I think maybe in some way use the cuteness effect to capture Clary.
Yeah.
You know, the cuteness effect is real. It's a real thing.
What do you think about Simon and Clary?
I love Kleiman, and I want them to last. I think they'd be a really good couple. I just don't want them to break up and be awkward as friends if they were to break up.
Yeah.
You know? Because they have such a good friendship going for them, or had such a good friendship going for them. I guess now it's the next level. So it's not really... I mean, you can still be friends when you're dating someone, right? Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, well, we'll see. Are there any other predictions?
At the moment, no. Go, and I'll think of something.
Okay, so I think that, people told me that my prediction last week was right, was that Simon and Clary were going to get together, and they'll be together for a minute, and then they were going to say, oh, this is so weird, haha, like, we should just go back to being friends, this, like, wasn't...
Yeah.
Really shouldn't have happened. It's fine, I'm glad it happened, I love you, but, we need to... I think that Clary is going to find out she's not related to Jace, and then Simon's going to be like, I love Maya. And then they'll both peacefully go in their own ways and still be best friends. Hopefully.
I think I loved Claire's jealousy in this episode, as I mentioned to Alberto. I think jealousy is going to keep popping up, and as Aussie Mudonna 34 said on the chat, she thinks next week Jace gets jealous of Simon and Clary.
It's like, you can't be jealous of someone with your sister, man. That you need, like, I hope
he's in denial, though.
Well, I just hope it comes out soon because it's just, it's freaking me out, like, that they're just so,
siblings, and they're okay with...
Yeah, and they're okay with, like, having feelings for one another. I would, like, get the hell out of Dodge. I'd, like, leave this down, and, like, I don't want to be around it. It's uncomfortable.
Like, bye!
But, yeah, I think that Izzy is going to become closer to the vampires, like Raphael and Simon, and... yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
I would totally love to see, like, Izzy and Raphael action going on.
They would have some really nice bedoinky doink.
They'd be a pretty couple. And by pretty, I mean, like, fire emoji hot.
I don't know. I mean, if we get a 50 Shades of Grey, I'm not really sure if that's just a teaser, like, what's going on there. But maybe that was actually just a hint of what's going to happen in their relationship.
Maybe.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much to Alberto Rosende for being here via Skype, second time. Again, Becca, where can everyone find you on social media?
Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Becca B Talks TV. Check out the Dance Moms After Show at 8 p.m. Pacific Time. And our Beyond After Show's finale next Monday at 10 p.m. Pacific Time.
And you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, samdavidsonentertainment.com, Twitter and Instagram at samd43. I'm going to be live on the Imposters After Show from Bravo at around 8:15 p.m. Very soon. And Riverdale on Thursdays. You guys will love that show, so please check it out. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.